Gahlep on the road. Gahlep is on the road. Estamos dirigiendo una delegación de 18 miembros de Gahlep por invitación del alcalde Dominic Sarno, donde esta noche tenemos una invitación para acompañar a otros dirigentes de los bomberos, la ciudad de Nueva York, muchas entidades de la policía, Suffolk County, NYPD, para inaugurar lo que será el monumento a los héroes del 9/11, que estaremos inaugurando hoy acá en Springfield, Massachusetts. Así que estamos en camino y más luego pues le presentaremos las imágenes de lo que va a ser la ceremonia. Así que Pablo, así detrás de la cámara, siempre acompañando.
Oh, are you? Okay. I'm just seeing you. Yeah. Very nice. Very nice. Welcome.
Okay, well, I've got some spiel for that.
That's perfect, because I was like,
Yes, sir. Well, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will be starting the program in 15 minutes. Sure, we're going to be streaming this across the country. So take your seats, please. Take your seats. Where we really need it, you know.
Okay, everyone ready?
Yeah, exactly.
Good evening. My name is Anthony Signoli. I have the extreme privilege of serving as MC for this very special dedication of Springfield's September 11th monument, honoring the 498 first responders who gave their lives on September 11th, 2001 in New York City, in Pennsylvania, and at the Pentagon. Tonight, here, we remember them all with this monument. This is a special place in this great city that is so much a part of our nation's history. We appreciate so many for coming from so very far. We recognize now just some of the dignitaries that are here with us this evening. Please, hold your applause until I recognize the last name. With us tonight, the Honorable Andrew H. Carr, Jr., Chief of Staff to President George W. Bush. Mr. Bradley Blakeman, Deputy Assistant to President George W. Bush. Joseph Juergens, New York City Fire Department. Mr. Edward Setnar, Superintendent of Police, Director of Public Safety, Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. Mr. Bruce Stebbins, former City Councilor in Springfield and Massachusetts Gaming Commissioner. Deputy Inspector Kenneth Quick, New York City Police Department. Jan Seidler Ramirez, Executive Vice President of Collections and Chief Curator of the 9/11 Memorial and Museum. Deputy Chief Manuel De La Rosa, New York City Police Department, retired. Lieutenant John P. Madrick, Intelligence Division, New York City Police Department. Lieutenant Colonel Ivan De La Cruz, Intelligence Bureau, New York City Police Department. Sergeant Daniel Mendez, 104th Precinct, New York City Police Department. Sergeant Johnny Nunez, Leadership Training Section, New York City Police Department. Sergeant Tulio Serrata, Detective, Suffolk County Police Department. Alberto De La Rosa, Logistics Director, Global Alliance of Hispanic Law Enforcement, and Lieutenant Colonel in the Dominican Republic Fire Department. We'd also like to recognize and thank that there are so many representatives of the Global Alliance of Hispanic Law Enforcement Professionals here with us this evening. Thank you all for your service and for being here tonight to remember with us. Thank you. The Springfield September 11th Monument Committee did a remarkable job raising the private funds to build this remembrance. We introduce them now, and again I ask that you might hold your applause until I read the very last name. Mayor Dominic J. Sarno, our honorary chair. Commissioner Bernard J. Calvi, Fire Commissioner, honorary co-chair. Acting Police Commissioner Cheryl C. Claproot, honorary co-chair. Mr. Frank Colicino, fundraising chair, the Colvest Group. If you want to get something done, call Frank Colicino. Matthew Bannister, People's Bank. Anthony Signoli, A.L. Signoli Company. Charlie Arment Trucking Incorporated. Sheila Doran, Columbia Gas, a NiSource Company. Dennis Duquette, the Mass Mutual Foundation. Kyle Hauser, Valpak, Western Massachusetts. Chris Marion Photography. Paul Fanoff, St. Pierre Funeral Chapels. Mr. Paul Pignelli, Jason Rucker, MGM Springfield. Christopher Russell, Springfield Business Improvement District, and Chief Master Sergeant Mary Ann Waltz, 104th Fighter Wing at Barnes Air National Guard Base. Thank you all so very, very much. And before there was a committee, there was a dream. It was an idea. It was former Springfield Fire Chief and Fire Commissioner Gary Casanelli, who believed that Springfield could create a special 9/11 memorial for first responders. Chief Casanelli, along with former Springfield Police Chief and Commissioner William Fitchett, joined forces with Patrick Sullivan, the Executive Director of our Parks Department, Buildings and Management and Recreation, with Judy Matt, Executive Director of the Spirit of Springfield, and Lieutenant Dennis Ledger of the Springfield Fire Department. And they wrote letter after letter, made call after call over several years to get this artifact for this memorial. Their story, the story, is in your program, but they are here now, and we ask them to stand to receive our thanks. Please. He's co-chair of this committee. He's co-chair of everything in the city of Springfield. He's an amazing and energetic man. We were very, very, very lucky to have him as our mayor and as the co-chair of this effort. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now with a very special welcome and message from the city of Springfield, the Honorable Dominic J. Sarno, Mayor of the city of Springfield. Dominic Sarno.
Good evening, everyone. And it is a beautiful, idyllic New England evening right here on the riverfront in Springfield, Massachusetts. To Andrew Card, Chief of Staff, President George W. Bush, Mr. Blakeman, to General Driscoll, to Superintendent Sitnar from the Port Authority, to Fire Commissioner B.J. Calvi, to Police Commissioner Cheryl Claproot, to Father Daly, to Father Hamilton, to all the honored dignitaries from near and far, and to the family members who were affected by this tragic event. Perfect timing, right during my remarks, right? First of all, I want to thank the 9/11 committee chaired by Frank Colacino and all the generous benefactors, and Judy Matt, the Spirit of Springfield, and my Wizard of Oz, Pat Sullivan and Pete Garvey. Haven't they done a tremendous job with this monument? Let's give them a big round of applause. Very tastefully and respectfully done to honor the courageous individuals, our first responders. And I know many a times public servants, especially our first responders, take many slings and arrows, but I always remind everyone to never forget and always remember, when everybody else is running out of that building, they're running into that building to save lives and to save structures. Now tonight, we come together on a tragic event of 9/11. It was very surreal what had occurred. And I remember very distinctly the news clips and the Chief of Staff, Mr. Card, having to whisper into President Bush's ear as he read to school children at a school, saying, "Mr. President, we're under attack." Though it was a traumatic and tragic day, America came together as one. And when you look at that situation, America continues to show and shine as the beacon of strength, the beacon of democracy, the beacon of hope around the world. And you fast forward a week to 10 days after this tragedy, and I always remember this commercial on TV. It showed any city or town in America. It could have been in Springfield on Dickinson Street. And it showed a row of houses. And maybe you saw one or two American flags. It showed with the date 9/12, 9/13, every house was lined with an American flag. My hope and prayer is that we can continue to come together as one during good times, not only during the bad times. But putting this monument here on the riverfront sends the message that we will always remember and never forget. Tonight, the names will be read. There are family members here tonight who lost loved ones. I'm honored to be here with my lovely wife, Carla, and my daughters, our daughters Cassandra and Kiara, who will be reading some names. And I know it's a tough time for the family members that are here when they hear that name. But they live on. Their legacy is strong for every firefighter, every police officer, every first responder that goes out when that bell tolls to save lives and to save structures. So they will live on. So to everyone that has been involved in this, and to everyone who has taken the time to come down to the riverfront as we honor these brave individuals, I ask you to continue to stand proud, not only for yourself and your family and your community, but to stand proud for the United States of America and for all our first responders. God speed to them all and our military personnel who continue to keep us safe and sound. God bless you, God bless your families, and God bless our city of Springfield. Thank you very, very much.
Our next speaker was there with the president when our nation was attacked. He is here with us tonight. With special greetings, please welcome former Chief of Staff to President George W. Bush, the Honorable Secretary Andrew H. Card, Jr.
Reverend clergy and chaplains,
Mr. Mayor, elected officials, policemen, firemen, EMTs, my great friend Brad Blakeman, Bruce Stubbins, Bernie Sweeney. I'm honored to be here. If I didn't know about it and I didn't come, I would feel terrible. September 11th, 2001 was an unbelievable day. You remember it when you woke up that morning. It was a perfect day. There was not a cloud in the sky in the lower 48. It was a perfect day. But it changed. It changed that day, and it changed that week, it changed that month, it changed that year, it changed an era. Yes, I delivered a message to the President. A message that no one would ever want to deliver to any president. And I did it in a classroom where the students were second graders. And they were innocent. The president had been told before he walked into the classroom that it appears a small twin-engine prop plane crashed into one of the towers at the World Trade Center in New York City. The principal of the school then opened the door to the classroom, and she and the president went into the classroom. When the door shut, a Navy captain by the name of Deb Lauer came up to me. She was the director of the White House Situation Room, the acting national security advisor on the trip. And she said to me, "Sir, it appears it was not a small twin-engine prop plane. It was a commercial jetliner." And I'll be honest with you, my mind flashed to the fear that the passengers on the plane must have had. They had to know it wasn't gaining altitude. I don't know why that's where my mind went, but that's where it went. But a nanosecond later, Captain Lauer came up to me and said, "Oh my God, another plane hit the other tower at the World Trade Center." My mind then flashed to three initials, UBL, Osama bin Laden. I knew about the attacks on the World Trade Center in 1993, February of 1993. I knew about Al-Qaeda. And I stood at that door and I performed a test that chiefs of staff have to perform all the time. Does the president need to know? This was an easy test to pass, yes. I made a conscious decision to pass on 2 facts and make 1 editorial comment, and to do nothing to invite a question or start a dialogue with the president. I knew that he was sitting in front of second graders, in front of a press pool, with probably a boom microphone hanging over his head. But I knew I had to tell him. I thought about what I would say, and I decided to say nothing that would invite a question or comment. And I opened the door and stepped into the classroom, and I came in from behind the president. He did not know that I had come into the room. The teacher of the school, the second graders, was conducting a dialogue between the students and the presidents. Say, "Good morning, Mr. President." "Good morning, Mr. President." And there was this dialogue back and forth. I didn't want to interrupt that. Ann Compton with ABC News, with the press pool, saw me, and she said, and I said, and she said, and then the teacher told the students to take out their books. And as they were reaching down to take out their books, my pet goat to read with the president. I walked up to the president, and he did not know that I was coming to him. He never turned to me. And I leaned down and whispered into his right ear, "A second plane hit the second tower. America is under attack." Normally the Secret Service would walk in first and everybody would stand up. The president walked in first, and people didn't expect it. He greeted a woman right after he walked into the room, and she was teary but hopeful. "My husband's a professional. He'll be okay." Saw somebody else. "My daughter, she's trained for this. She'll make it out." "My son, I can't think of anyone better to go in. He'll come out." There was great hope. There was great fear. There were tears. There was anger. A lot of prayers. The president went to every single person in that room. They didn't come to him. He went to them. He stayed there about an hour and a half. As he's getting ready to leave, he walks by a woman that was one of the first people he saw when he walked in the room. And she was about this tall, pretty stocky. And she came over to the president and she looked up at him and she said, "Mr. President, I want you to have this." And she held out her hand. And the president held his hand out. And she said, "This is my son's badge. His name is George Howard. Don't ever forget him." And she dropped the badge in the president's hand. Tears are streaming down the president's cheeks and everybody else's. I'll never forget what President Bush said to Mrs. Howard. Through the tears, he said, "Mrs. Howard, America will forget. They'll start to move on. But you don't have to worry about me. I will never forget." And with tears streaming down his cheeks, he walks out. Tears are streaming down my cheeks. We get into the limousine. I'm sitting right beside the president. He reaches into his pocket as we're sitting in the back seat of the limousine. He pulls out the badge and he looks at it. It was badge number 1012. He shuts his eyes. I believe he's praying. Then he opens his eyes. He squeezes the badge and with a whisper says, "I will never forget." He put the badge back in his pocket. Doesn't say another word. I'll never forget that day because I watched a president do everything a president needs to do at any time, and he did it all in one day. But the most important thing he did was promise never to forget. I see this wall, and I see names on it. There's a connection to every name that's on that wall. They can't forget. They move on, but they don't forget. But the names on that wall mean something. They give definition to service, to sacrifice. They give definition to community. They give definition to a calling. Those of you who wear a uniform and took an oath, they give definition. They give a definition to sacrifice. They give a definition to America. George Howard's name is up there. George Gerard Howard. The President will never forget. I hope you never forget. Remember, those who have graduated from high school this year were not born when this happened. They don't know they should never forget because they don't know. This memorial guarantees that they will have a chance to know. Therefore, we hope they will never forget, because our future depends on them too. Thank you. God bless Springfield, God bless the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and God bless America. Thank you.
Wow. You just listened to history from a man who's part of America's history. And what's amazing to me, and I know most of you noticed it, he didn't have a single note to read from. It was the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey that honored Springfield with this iconic artifact. Please welcome Edward Setnar, Superintendent of Police and Director of Public Safety for the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey.
Good evening, everyone. Let me start off by saying that you never want to follow the guy in front of you. And Mr. Card, I don't know how I topped that, but thank you very much. That was wonderful. The story he told about Mrs. Howard, and I know the chief knows this, but she passed away about 2 months ago, and we laid her to rest. And I can tell you this, that the president was in touch with her all the time, and she was a tireless advocate for 9/11 and the remembrance of her son. So the tribute that President Bush and his staff gave Mrs. Howard was a lasting memory. And on that day, September 11th, I was a young New Jersey State Trooper, and I was assigned to Ground Zero right away. On the 14th, when Chief Card said they came into Lakehurst, I was part of the motorcade and the SWAT team that had to go there, so we were back and forth. So everything he's talking about gives me chills because I remember it so vividly and what we did as troopers that day. But Mayor, I can't thank you enough. You know, when I got the letter to come up here as part of the Port Authority and you honoring the folks, the first responders, my answer was immediately yes. And I can't thank you enough for honoring all the men and women, whether it's NYPD, Port Authority, FDNY, and the other first responders. It is a very, very great tribute to the folks that do this every day. And I can't thank you and your staff enough. Judith, thank you very much for the communication and getting us up here. We really appreciate it. You know, on the ride here today, it took us about 3 hours to get here from the city. You know, these are the things that we talk about and remember. And I actually said to Chief Card before that this morning on National Geographic was the interview with himself and President Bush, and it just happened. I see that this morning while I'm getting dressed. I'm like, again, how ironic. And I believe it was probably Mrs. Howard with the train going by as you were speaking about her, acknowledging that she's still here. So, in any event, this is a great tribute, an artifact from the World Trade Center that me now, the head of the Port Authority Police Department, over 2,200 members, men and women that go out there and protect our facilities each and every day, from the airports to the New Freedom Tower, the campus around that. You know, our bridges, our tunnels, our bus terminals, our PATH train system. You know, it is a backdrop of a lot of facilities in New York City. And while we work with the NYPD very closely to secure these facilities, I got to say that there's no greater threat probably from a terrorist that wants to put a symbol back into New York. And I think between all the New York Police Department, you know, Port Authority, men and women, I think we do a tremendous job protecting those structures. I have here an American flag. I'd like to present this to the mayor. This American flag was proudly flown over the World Trade Center on June 5th when I got the invitation to come here. We flew this over the World Trade Center, and we give this to very special people and under very, very special circumstances. This is a very special person, your mayor, and the circumstances of this wall being built is a true honor for me to present this American flag that was flown over the World Trade Center site to symbolize in remembrance of all our first responders and all the folks that lost their life that day. And as Chief Card said and the Mayor said, we will never forget. That is something that is instilled to my police officers from day one. You will never forget and don't ever embarrass the memory of the folks that gave their life that day. Mr. Mayor, please accept this on behalf of Governor Cuomo, Governor Murphy, and the men and women of the Fourth County. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And now, with a Special Armed Services Remembrance, we welcome Brigadier General John Driscoll, Commander of the Massachusetts Army National Guard.
Well, thank you very much, and for all those who've been veterans, you know, when a general shows up without notes, it's going to be a long time. And Judy Matt says, you have 2 minutes. I was like, okay, Judy, I'm going to double and take 4. But good evening, distinguished guests, Mr. Card, Mayor Sarno, and all veterans, ladies and gentlemen, first responders, and loved ones of the fallen. Thank you for the honor to be part of this solemn dedication and to say a few words. I echo the early comments and recognize the efforts behind this dedication to our first responders. I pause and reflect on what I'm going to say tonight, and I experience a range of emotions, and I thought to share them with you as possibly one or more may hold the same in your heart. The first thing, you heard it before, is thankfulness and pride. Thank you for everyone here today because you gave up your most precious asset, your time. You came here tonight to show respect for the fallen. Well, that Mrs. Howard gets around. I didn't think she liked that comment, that's why. Despite more heartaches of pain and sorrow, American freedom and liberty cannot be intimidated. It resonates deeply throughout this great republic in the hearts and minds of our citizens. This monument will be a beacon for all who desire life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Thank you, and may God bless you and our United States of America.
Thank you. Please welcome Springfield Fire Commissioner B.J. Calvey with the Firefighters Remembrance.
Good evening, and welcome to this beautiful monument. I was honored right after I took the job in Springfield to be contacted by Judy Matt and asked to serve as an honorary chairman for the fundraising for this committee. I without a doubt, jumped right in and said I'd be happy to lend my name and whatever efforts I could lend to this monument. But I'm also honored to stand before you tonight to welcome you to this monument on behalf of the men and women of the Springfield Fire Department and offer you our sincere gratitude for all of you that have come this evening and all the invited dignitaries and guests who are here to pay tribute to the brave firefighters and police officers as well as the EMTs who paid the ultimate sacrifice on that day. I can guarantee you that I will never forget that day, and I will never forget the names on this wall. Again, thank you all for coming, and my deepest regards. Thank you very much.
And now, with the Police Officers Remembrance, we welcome Acting Springfield Police Commissioner Cheryl Clapprood.
Good evening. I'm shorter than the average. Honored and distinguished guests, I welcome all of you in law enforcement and public safety who have traveled far to be with us tonight in Springfield. There are so many of you, I wish I had time to recognize every one of your service. But please know that your presence with us tonight, remembering our sisters and brothers who gave their lives that day, is a deep honor. As Police Commissioner on behalf of the Springfield Police Department, I welcome you to the City of Springfield for this dedication. To those first responders who died, to those that we remembered who were injured, and to this day still suffer from the effects of the tragedy, September 11th, 2001. As a law enforcement officer for 40 years, I am still in awe of their courage and sacrifice. The first responders displayed tremendous courage on that day. Everyone who takes an oath to serve and protect knows that day may come where you are faced with life and death situations. Yeah, we feared that day, as those must have, but we hope we are able to face the fear and continue on to save as many lives as possible. It's inside of all of us to bring out the best when the worst has struck. We will do this today, we will do it tomorrow, and always in the memory of the heroes that fell before us. I am humbled by their valor. I am honored by their sacrifice, and I am privileged to carry on as a first responder in their memory. Thank you for being here. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Kaplan. And now, with greetings from Salmon Studios, the folks who designed this monument, please welcome designer Sam Ostroff and the members of his team. Sam.
This is part of the crew that actually built this monument. I'd like to thank the city of Springfield. I'd like to thank the spirit of Springfield and all the donors who contributed to make this monument possible. I'll admit that when we were first asked to be involved in this project more than 3 years ago, I didn't fully understand or appreciate how significant and important this memorial would be. It was a privilege to be part of a historic and local project, and we tried to design a piece that was both modest in form, but clever in its use of light and shadow. There are a few key moments in the process of building this I'd like to share. I remember when this I-beam first arrived in our studio. We had seen it before, it was in a fire station nearby, but now to take responsibility for its safekeeping and to have such a piece of history in our workspace was not taken lightly. Unloading it with our forklift, I could sense its weight, both its physical weight, nearly 2,000 pounds of steel, but also its historic weight, the weight of the events that came before. But as I stand here before you this evening, I can say with honesty and humility that only now do I truly understand the significance and importance of this piece that we created. My hope for this memorial is that we'll bring people together. I think we all need a little more of that these days. To unite people in a common remembrance. It has certainly brought all of us together right here and right now. Over time, the bronze will change and tarnish. Park visitors will come and go, but the names of these brave souls will remain and be remembered forever. Thank you very much.
One time, halt! Up, right! Detail, halt! Up, right! Right head, halt! Detail, breathe, done, halt!
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave over the land of the free and the home of the
Thank you, Vanessa, the voice of Springfield. Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Finally, dear Lord, direct all our actions by your holy inspiration and extend your care and blessing upon this city of Springfield and upon these United States of America. We ask this in your holy name. Amen.
Amen.
in memory of all those who lost their lives on September 11th. It represents the last alarm, the last call, calling firefighters home. I'd like to direct your attention now to the historic Memorial Bridge to my left. Emergency vehicles representing law enforcement, firefighters, emergency medical, and all first responders will roll out over the historic Memorial Bridge to symbolize the courageous response of all emergency services on September 11th.
There it was. The bridge. Stand up if you didn't do that. That's how you need to see.
September 11, 2001 was one of the most consequential days in the history of the United States. Nearly 3,000 brave souls died on that clear and bright Tuesday morning when two hijacked planes flew into the World Trade Center. Another struck the Pentagon, and a fourth, United Airlines Flight 93, crashed in a field outside of Shanksville, Pennsylvania. It was the single deadliest terrorist attack in our history, and a day we can never forget. I was landing in Baltimore when the news was breaking and spent the rest of the day in the United States Capitol building being briefed by law enforcement agents and talking to friends and family. Later that week, I visited the Pentagon and Ground Zero to pay my respects to those innocent Americans who lost their lives on 9/11. The fearlessness that was demonstrated by our first responders, firefighters, police, and medical personnel on that fall morning was truly remarkable. They ran into danger when others ran out, and nearly 500 died as a result of their valor. One was a 44-year-old New York Port Authority police officer from Long Island and the son of Arlene Howard. When he heard there was trouble at the World Trade Center, the off-duty cop sped to the scene and lost his life when the second tower collapsed. Days later, George W. Bush was meeting with families of fallen rescue workers when the grieving mother presented her son's badge, number 1012, to the President of the United States. He kept that shield with him for the remainder of his presidency as a reminder of the courage that was on display on September 11, 2001. I would like to start this solemn occasion by reading his name first, George Gerald Howard. Joseph Agnello, Brian G. Ahern, Eric Allen, Richard Dennis Allen.
Right! Hey! Lead down! One! Ho! Up! 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 Right! Up! 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 Right! Up! 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 Right! Lead down!
On behalf of Dominic Sarno, the mayor of the city of Springfield, on behalf of the city of Springfield itself and all of its people, on behalf of the Spirit of Springfield and members of Springfield's September 11th Monument Committee, thank you so much for joining us, for joining people like Andrew Card and Brad Blakeman, for the dedication of Springfield's tribute to the first responders who gave their all on that day. God bless America. Thank you.
Thank you. Great. Oh my God. Hold on. It's very nice.
Hearing those names is like...
Good luck. I enjoy What are we looking at?
One more time.
No.
It was nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you. Have a great night.
Talk about drain the wall.
Enjoy the night. Okay, nice to see you guys. Yep.
Yes.
Everybody for coming out tonight.
Can everybody give a little round of applause, please, to MGM for hosting a lot of our visitors and for this reception tonight. And the man of the hour is Anthony Signoli. I don't know where he is, but
The date was September 11th, 2001. Alberto was a Red Cross volunteer in Long Island. What started as a normal day at the office, take me back to what it was like when you first got there.
Like, I look at this, like, everything is disappeared. Like, I don't know what's going on.
Does that still bother you today?
It's not bothering me. It's like we couldn't do something for these people.
Persistence paid off. By not taking no for an answer, the answer eventually became yes. On September 8, 2011, 10 years after the towers fell, the artifact arrived in Springfield on a flatbed trailer under police and first responder escort.
They have two lights in back of it that project lights onto this arc of where the names are. And when you see it, it's amazing. It's the Twin Towers. You see.
Buenas noches, amigos que nos sintonizan Fama y Misterio Internacional. Mi nombre es Karina y en esta ocasión les traigo un tema muy interesante. Buenas noches.
Gracias, Karina. De verdad que mi nombre es Johnny Núñez, presidente de la Alianza Global y Oficiales Profesionales Hispanos. Y mira, estamos súper agradecidos. La verdad que esto ha sido un evento que debemos dar las gracias antemano al alcalde de esta preciosa ciudad, Springfield, Massachusetts, nuestro gran amigo ya, ¿no? Un hermano nuestro, el alcalde Dominic Sarno, pero también a esta persona que fue la responsable de coordinar todo lo que se ha dado aquí esta noche, impresionante, impecable, a Judith Matt, que la verdad que es las expectativas de todos los que nos acompañan, pues fue algo increíble. Mira, yo quisiera decirte, se trata de esta inauguración de lo que es el monumento a los héroes 9/11, que se está celebrando acá, una inauguración que fue increíble, pero yo quiero que comparta las ideas con algunos de los miembros que nos acompañan, por esta invitación que nos hace el alcalde. Tenemos algunos de los miembros acá, yo quisiera que ellos expresaran cómo se sintieron, así que tenemos acá el sargento, un nuevo miembro, para que se presente.
Daniel Méndez, 104 Precinct. Me siento muy agradecido de estar acá en este evento y como dijo el presidente de Gahlep, Johnny Núñez, le damos gracias al mayor y also a Judy Matt por invitarnos acá, por invitarnos a este evento tan grandioso que es y tan memorable para la ciudad de Nueva York, para todo Estados Unidos. Represento a Gahlep y me siento muy apreciado de ser parte de este grupo.
¿A quién tenemos por acá?
A Freddy Reyes, miembro de Gahlep. Gracias, Karina. Queremos darle gracias al mayor o alcalde Dominic Sarno y a Judith Matt por habernos invitado, y quería expresar que es un honor estar aquí siendo parte del 9/11 y estar allá y ver cómo todavía recuerdan y han comprobado que no se va a olvidar. We will never forget lo que pasó ese día, y seguimos apoyando a las personas que estaban ahí, y siendo parte de la organización me siento muy contento de que nos hayan invitado, y nuevamente gracias.
¿Por acá?
Buenas noches, Karina. Muy buenas noches. Pues nada, pues de verdad que creo que el presidente Núñez se llenó con mucha información respecto a lo que es los agradecimientos que cada uno de nosotros tenemos. De verdad que es un honor grande que la ciudad de Springfield haya dado un monumento tan impactante, ¿no? Creo que parte de lo que es esta grabación van a ver definitivamente todo lo que es los sucesos, ¿verdad? Y van a ver cómo nos hicieron hacer sentir en casa. De verdad que sí, la fecha 9/11 fue algo muy impactante, pero además de la parte de no olvidar, ¿verdad? La parte sentimental es cómo podemos seguir adelante, ¿verdad? Así que estamos muy agradecidos con Dominic por la invitación a lo que es a la asociación Gahlep. Como tesorero, pues estoy muy agradecido y pues nada, gracias por la invitación de nuevo y es un honor estar aquí presente con todos ustedes.
Hola, soy Tulio Serrata, estoy aquí representando Suffolk County Police Department y Gahlep. Le quiero dar las gracias a Springfield, Massachusetts por el esfuerzo que hicieron por esta ceremonia. Es una cosa muy emocionante. No había nada como la sombra de la Double Twin Towers, que ese hierro significó la muerte de mucha gente queridas que ahora no están con nosotros y nunca lo vamos a olvidar.
Muy buenas noches a todos y quiero decirles que mi nombre es Alberto de la Rosa, soy 9/11 First Responder y gracias a Dios estamos aquí compartiendo con nuestra familia de Gahlep y le damos gracias a Sarno, el mayor de Springfield, Massachusetts, a Judith Matt por este evento tan magno que ha creado aquí en esta comunidad. Somos una organización que nos encargamos específicamente de que nuestra comunidad haga un enlace directamente con la policía. El 9/11 se convierte en una forma de conectar a las personas que buscan un aliento y un sustento donde aquellos bomberos, policías, NTMs, paramédicos entraron a edificios para salvar una vida que quizás hoy nosotros estamos planificando para hacerlo con las nuevas generaciones. Le doy las gracias de antemano a todo el equipo de Gahlep. Es un honor para mí estar con ustedes y espero que pronto podamos compartir el octubre 5 en nuestra gala en Queens. Muchas gracias.
¿Algo que quiera decir para finalizar esa entrevista?
¿Qué te digo? No, agradecido a los compañeros, colegas que forman parte de esta organización Gahlep, que es la Alianza Global de Oficiales Profesionales Hispanos. La componemos en su mayoría policías activos de la NYPD, el Departamento de la Policía de la Ciudad de New York, pero también tenemos, como viste ya, el teniente, un orgullo nuestro, el primer dominicano con el rango más alto en Suffolk County, Long Island. Pero además estamos a nivel internacional, tenemos miembros de Panamá, de Guatemala, Honduras, República Dominicana, Perú, y de verdad que reiterando este día ha sido un día especial. Creo que todos acá recordamos precisamente qué estaban haciendo en el 9/11, durante el 9/11. Y entonces quería resaltar la membresía de estos nuevos miembros que han ingresado a la organización. Súper agradecido, de verdad. Gracias a ti, Karina, por cubrirnos, ¿no? Por servirnos de comunicadora. Así que muy orgulloso. Esta organización está creciendo. Mira, precisamente en menos de 2 meses, pues estuvimos en Baltimore en una conferencia internacional. Hicimos un memorando de entendimiento de acuerdo con JAPCOA, una organización hermana a quien felicito, a Anthony Chapa, retirado de Secret Service. Y ahí estuvimos en un evento donde hizo presencia el vicepresidente de los Estados Unidos, Mike Pence. Y ya luego este próximo evento, pues ya con invitación de lo que es el alcalde aquí de esta ciudad. Así que exhortamos a nuestros homólogos de otras jurisdicciones de la policía que se acerquen a Gahlep, porque nosotros estamos en grande y tenemos proyectos con diferentes países y de eso que se trata, crecer, servir de enlace, no solo con los homólogos de otros países, sino la parte fuerte de nosotros es la comunidad. Somos muy comunitarios. De hecho, voy a anunciar 2 eventos. El 27 de este mismo mes estaremos en el Club Deportivo Dominicano en un taller que se titula Patrullando Legalmente, y estaremos hablando de los niveles legales, cuáles son los parámetros legales que la ciudadanía necesita escuchar, de que entiendan cuál es el rol de policía. Y además estaremos abordando el tema de la violencia doméstica. Y de eso que se trata, aportar, llenar ese vacío de información, servir de enlace, de puente de información para nuestra comunidad. Nuevamente, gracias por estar acá. Muy buen evento, ¿no? ¿Te pareció? Excelente. La verdad que felicito a la ciudad de Springfield y al alcalde y a Judith. Muchísimas gracias y acérquese a nosotros. Tenemos una gala octubre 5 en Astoria Manor. Quiero que la comunidad se haga eco de eso. Es un evento espectacular donde van a haber un despliegue de uniformes. Tenemos ya confirmado la policía de la República Dominicana, tenemos confirmado la policía, jefe de la policía de Panamá, jefe de la policía de Colombia y ¿quién más? Honduras también, o sea que, y además de eso, Suffolk County Police, Perth Amboy, New Jersey, y a nivel local, muchos de los ejecutivos del Departamento de la Policía.
Lo mejor de lo mejor.
La crema de la crema, así que muchísimas gracias.
Gracias. Para Fama y Misterio Internacional reportó Karina.